It happened. It finally happened. Some people had told me this was coming. I said it wasn't, and boy was I proved wrong. It actually went down less than 2 weeks ago, guys. Gold is at a historic $3,000+ an ounce, which is nuts considering where we were just last year. The skyrocketing price of gold has caught us all by surprise. It has changed the jewelry world, and the worst part is I don't even think it's halfway close to being where it's gonna be by this time next year. So what's happened? What has led to this insane increase in gold prices? Is it ever going to be going down? How has it affected the jewelry world? How has it affected the investment world and our everyday lives? Does it even make sense? Well, let's start in the beginning. About a year ago, gold was about $500 less. Even then, everybody in the jewelry world was saying this price is gonna continue to go up. I'll give you guys a quick brief story. My operations manager and I, Victor, were talking about 2 years ago, and we were joking around, sitting down, calculating the price of gold for the chain orders that we had, and we laughed and said, can you imagine if gold goes up to $2,500 an ounce? There's absolutely no way. Lo and behold, $2,500 an ounce is long and gone, and I pray for those days. We are now sitting currently at $3,020 an ounce. So how is the world reacting to it? Now, what's the reasoning behind it? That can get extremely complicated. I'm sure all the economy majors in the YouTube comments are going to tell us the reason why. Could it be the Russia-Ukraine war? That could have something to do with it. Of course, the Israeli-Palestinian war, that could have something to do with it. There's a lot of world events. It usually hedges also with inflation, even though inflation is trending down. There's a lot of factors that lead to why the gold is so high. But even if we take all these things into consideration, it's still pretty insane that gold is so high. I've heard rumors about China hoarding up thousands and thousands of kilos on a monthly basis of gold, and that's the reason why it's gone up so much. Probably even things down to a local level. For instance, Costco now making it accessible for anyone to buy gold with only a 20-spot premium. I mean, those things weren't around about 3 years ago. So little by little, we've seen it go up and up and up, but this $3,000 an ounce is truly unprecedented. All those guys out there that bought chains and jewelry about a year, 2, 3, even 4 years ago, you've now made money. Now, here's where I've been on the wrong side of history this entire time. Every time somebody would call me and tell me, Gus, should I buy this chain right now? My true honest opinion, I've been telling, as you guys know, we sell gold over silver as well. A lot of people thought I was pushing that, but my true opinion was gold has to go down. If we look at the trends of gold over even the past 30 to 40 years, it's been a steady incline, but there's always been kind of this linear, slightly 90-degree angle of how it's supposed to go. But now it's straight up gone vertical. So what I said was that can't be sustainable. It has to go down eventually. And I said that at $2,200 an ounce. I said that at $2,300 an ounce. It flew by 25. I was still saying the same shit. And now we're sitting at 3,000, and flat out, I was wrong. And I couldn't see it coming. I don't know why it's gone up so much, and it hasn't dropped at all. Every time it drops around $80 an ounce, it only skyrockets about 2 weeks later, every single time. And so now people are asking me the same question. Gus, should I buy a chain now? Well, I mean, they always say buy low and then eventually let it go high, but who's to say that it might not continue to go up? Right now, we have no clue on whether it's going to double. If you want to know my honest opinion, before when I was saying it was going to go down, maybe I was completely wrong, and maybe I'm completely wrong about the statement that I'm about to say right now. But honestly, the way it's been moving for the past year, I would not be surprised if we're looking at the same time this year, and you guys can go back and maybe throw it in my face if I'm completely wrong. But I predict the gold will go up to $4,500 before the end of this year. The way it's skyrocketing is just crazy. And every single time it reaches a new high, it's only about a week before it stays there and continues to plateau and then eventually goes back up. And then we think that that's the new norm. I mean, think about it this way. We thought gold was at an all-time high at $2,500 an ounce. And now I pray that the ounce is looking like that, because it's nowhere near going down. It's completely changed the jewelry industry. Watches that were all gold are now going for insane amounts of money just because they have a lot of gold in them. The same chains that you were purchasing for a kilo chain at $50,000, that's not even covering the cost of your chain. Now, to make a kilo in 14 karat, you're talking 60 to 65,000 plus. It's crazy. This is crazy. You've literally made money on your chains if you bought bought them over 2 years ago. That's without a doubt. And it's only going to continue to go up. So my suggestion is, if you're even in the market of collecting something that's gold, buying chains, buying bullion, buying gold, buy them now. I know that the gold seems to be at its all-time high, but there is no end in sight. And I think that the ounce of gold is never going to go back down under 2,500. Too many people now have accessibility to gold. There's too many governments hedging the US dollar with gold. There's too many things that are happening even long term. These wars that don't have any end in sight. All these world events that don't have an expiration date. Like, say for instance, there was something happening and we could say, okay, well, in about a year, that's going to be over. None of these things look like there is an end in sight of it, including inflation. All these things look like it's long term. So if you're in the market to even invest or park your money somewhere, like say for instance, a chain, a watch, a piece of jewelry or something like that, do it. Do it, because there's no end in sight to these prices. I've been telling people to wait this entire time and I couldn't be further wrong. And so now my entire strategy has changed. Look, if you're wanting to buy a gold piece, anything in gold in general, or even just stockpiling, parking your money in something that could potentially go up, gold is clearly the choice. Buy the things that you want to now, wear them, and maybe in 10, 12 months, maybe 15 months, 18, 20 months, you've already made money on it because it's not going down anytime soon. That's just the reality of it, and that's what the trend has been going for the past almost 2 years now. If you have access to a Costco account, you could buy the bullion and gold coins. If you're interested in chains, 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, it doesn't really matter. You might as well just make that purchase now, because it probably will be worth more money in just a couple of months. If you're interested in watches as well, that's the weird one. Watches that were probably a lot less are now just gone up only because of the price of gold. For instance, this watch here, I just rebought this watch from the same dealer. We bought it, resold it, and I sold it to him a year and a half ago for 11.5. I just bought it back for 12.8. This is a 18038 single quick, but now it's not even so much that it's in demand, it's just the value of how it's made has gone up. So little things are changing around us if you're in the jewelry space that are changing the way we're moving money around. Right now, sometimes I'll hold gold in my safe just for a couple of weeks, just so that the price goes up. So when the new orders come in, I'm able to keep up with it, because otherwise we're losing money. For those of you guys wanting chains, purchase chains in higher carats. Yes, of course, you're gonna have to put more money down because it's a lot more gold, but that labor percentage that you pay on top of the spot price is gonna be better in the long run, because ultimately you do have more finer gold. For those of you guys still even wanting to do 10 karat, I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter. Gold is going so high, even if you purchase 10 karat, you're still gonna probably make money. Things that have to change for gold to go down is pretty hard to say. I mean, world events would have to come to some sort of agreement. There would have to be ceasefires in these wars that have no end in sight. And there's a lot of things that would have to change in the economy. This is why I think that gold has forever gone up and it just won't go down. That's my genuine opinion on it. There's so many things that have changed now that they're almost irreversible. Before, gold went up maybe to 2,050 an ounce, and then all of a sudden it would drop back down. Things like COVID and stuff like that pushed it up. But right now, none of that's happening. Gold is just the way it is right now. It went up and it's not going back down. I'm curious what you guys think about this whole gold situation. Have you guys been stockpiling gold? Did you guys think that it was going to be going up this much? I certainly didn't. Are there any guys out there that maybe purchased a chain years ago and now have made money on it? I'd love to have this open discussion. I genuinely think that we're headed to $4,500 an ounce between a year, year and a half, and there's no end in sight after that. To be honest with you, it's kind of a scary situation, especially with people in the jewelry world, because at what point are people going to stop buying gold? That's another curious whole aspect about this gold going up. I would think that I'm going to be selling a lot more gold over silver because people didn't want to spend the money, but it's quite the opposite. I'm selling gold like a motherfucker. It does not stop. So people are clearly saying, this isn't going anywhere. Let me put my money somewhere I could possibly make money as well. But it's still an interesting topic to talk about, whether you think it's going to be going up or down. Drop it down in the comment below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know what you guys think about gold.